Hello, hello. I just wanted to make this video. I wanted to make this video and say thank you to every single person who comments on my video and sends prayer and their condolences. I truly, really appreciate it. You guys don't know that reading your messages has been so helpful because a lot of people don't agree with going to the vet to put your dog down. A lot of people don't agree with that. They have also made comments about it and also made comments about her weight. And Jazz weighed, uh, in the end, she weighed 70 pounds. But before she started taking medication, she was only 50 something pounds. Because she was on medication, she swelled up, and those medications, the prednisone and all that stuff, was making her hungry all the time. Not that she was, but it's just the medication that was making her that way. And I understand that there's a lot of people that are against people putting their dogs down, but I just want to say something that I one too said, oh, I would never do that to my dog. But you know what? When you see your dog, the love of your life, gasping for air and not being able to walk fully like they once did, you're not going to be able to bear with that type of pain, seeing them that way, especially when you know how active and alive they were. You know, I understand that not everybody is going to agree, but there's just certain things in life. I wish that I didn't have to put my dog down. I wish I didn't have to do that to her because every single day I think about that. I had her for 14 years and I rescued her. She was a rescue dog. She was about 4 months, anywhere between 4 to 6 months. And she walked right in front of my house with some guy that was holding her on a rope. He had a rope around her neck. And my son ran inside the house and said, Mom, can you please buy this dog off of this guy? Because she looks like she needs help. And I was like, oh, we don't want no dogs, no dogs. So then my husband goes to the front and he's talking to the guy, walking her. And then I go to the front and Jazz immediately walked to me. And as soon as I looked at her, I knew that she was starved, she was beaten, she was all bones when I first got her. You can see her bones through her ribs. Like, that's how skinny she was. And when she came into my home and we would talk to her, not even in a high-pitched voice, but a low voice, she would be so terrified. She was scared. And then my son was like, please, just get this dog, Mom, please. So my husband said, hey, you know what? How much you want for the dog? And my husband said that to the guy, and the guy said, oh, just give me $100. So my husband said, $100? This dog look like it's dying. You know what? Here, take these $50 and you lucky I'm going to give you $50 and I'm taking the dog. So we took the dog. As soon as we got her into the house, we took her a bath. We tried to give her food, but we had to take her to the vet. We take her to the vet and they did a thorough check on her and it was for sure that she was starved and she was abused. And we took good care of her. We took her to the vet. They gave us medication. They did a thorough checkup on her, and that's how Jazz became a part of our family. Throughout the years, she was such a healthy dog, and let me tell you something. In the beginning, she was very scared, but we showed her so much love. You know, we just would sit with her and hug her and kiss her and tell her everything's gonna be okay. And it took her maybe like 2 weeks to know that she was in a good place, because she would wag that tail up and down and so happy. At that time, I already had Charlie, which is my Chihuahua, and her and Charlie got along great, you know? So we had her 14 years. Jazz lived a full life. You know, there was only two other times in the 14 years that we had her that she got sick, because she gave birth to puppies and years ago. And then I didn't want my husband to breed her anymore. So I didn't want her to have babies, period, at all. And I went to Florida, and my husband, when I come back, my husband had already made her. So I was so upset at him, because I said, like, she's not ready to go through all that stuff. And I want to say that when you mate your dogs, especially if they're females, you have to be very careful, because breeding dogs is important, and you have to do it responsible, and you have to be on top of everything and make sure that your dogs are healthy. And, I didn't want to get into that. I wanted just to have her, and that's it. But she did give birth to a breed. She gave birth twice, actually, to two breeds. And I wish, and those people, the babies went to family members. Oh, that you, if you see them, oh, they look so beautiful, and they're all healthy and everything. And I regret letting them all go, because I should have kept one. But the simple fact is that she got sick when I told my husband I don't want her to give birth anymore. I just want to keep her healthy, and I don't want her to go through that pain, because when she went through labor, it was hard for her. I stood by her side and everything, guys. Like, it was really emotional, to watch her even give birth. But after a while, when you don't breed the dog, there, I guess it's like she got pyometra. And the first thing that she got was that one of her babies was sucking on her nipples, and they must have nipped her. So she got a big abscess on her stomach, on one of her nipples. That was the first time that she ever got sick. So we took her to the vet. We had to pay like a $600, and they healed her up. It was gone, fine. She never had nothing. I told my husband, that's it. I don't want her to have no more babies. I want my dog to be healthy. I don't want to worry about her being sick or getting that stuff again, because the dogs are sucking out her boobs. So we didn't breed her anymore. So what happened was that, because when you don't breed the dogs, I guess their ovaries ovulate. So, and then her ovaries, I guess, got clogged up or something. So she got pyometra. That was the second time that she got sick. And we had to take her to the vet, and she had to take everything out. They had to take it all out, because the doctor said if I wouldn't have took her on time, that she would have died. And we had to pay a lot of money for that surgery. And she was okay. They gave her back to me. She was drowsy, she was hurt, and I stood with her 24 hours of the day. I laid with her. I mean, I didn't let her out of my sight until she was back into full mode, Jazz mode. So she healed really good. So she was a very healthy dog. And then when this time, when we noticed it, my husband was going to take Jazz a bath. So he took her collar off. So once he took her collar off, he noticed that there was like a little lump under her throat, right here on her neck part. So he was like, "Babe, did you notice that Chaz has a lump?" And I said, "No, I didn't. I didn't see a lump, you know." And I said, "Well, she's been like scratching her ear a little bit, but I checked it, there was nothing there." So then this was a couple days later that he noticed that she had a lump. So I went online and I saw this vet that's always online, and he's always doing videos on how to take care of your dog. So he says to buy this oil, DMSO, and if it's a fluid filled abscess, that ointment will help it, drain. So that's what I did. I applied it 3 to 4 times a day, put hot compressions, and it did drain after a while because I used that DIMSO. I don't even remember the name. If I remember, I'll put it on this video. But it's a liquid, so if the dog has abscess, like little lumps, and you can tell if they're filled with liquid, because when you touch them, they feel like they're liquid filled. So she developed one under her neck, and then 2 days later, she developed one on her face. So I'm like, where are these things coming from, So I put the same ointment. It drained. It was healing. I would clean it like all day. I practically was with her because it drains out all that stuff. So I cleaned her. I patched her back up, everything. I want to say like 5 days after that she was back to normal. She was good. But then now she started getting more abscess. She got one next to her nose. She got one in her ear. She got one on the other, two more on the side of her ear. So I was like, oh my God, I think there's something wrong with her. I feel like there's something wrong with her because she never gets abscess. She's never been through this stuff. So then when I went to clean her, I noticed that she had pus in her ear. So I said, oh, we got to call the vet. We got to get her the right medicine. We got to get her on the right stuff. So we called the vet. We take her to the vet. The vet says, yeah, she has a couple abscess, and her face was so swollen you couldn't even see her eye, guys. It was so bad. Like, oh my God. It was just like, it just happened like so fast. Like, her face was normal, and then like 20 minutes later, it started swelling. So we took her to the vet, and the vet checks her, and he says she definitely has abscess, you know, but I'm 100% positive that what we're dealing with is cancer. Dogs her breed and her age around this time do develop cancer. I was devastated. I was like, no, how can this be? She's fine. My husband was like, no, she doesn't have cancer. She just has bad ear infection. Um, she was awake every day, morning, wagging her tail. There was no signs of her being sick. So the vet said, I'm going to give you these antibiotics and this medication. You can take her home and just keep her comfortable. Make sure that you give her the medicine on time every single day, every dose on the same time. And I said, okay, no problem. She told me what are signs to look for. Excuse me. So she said, if by any chance while she's home she develops, like, she's probably gonna start breathing like a panting breathe. If she starts heavy breathing, you know, it could mean that it's spreading to her lungs. So I couldn't know. I could not for the life of me just go home. I needed to know if she had cancer because I didn't want her to suffer. So, the vet said, okay, it's going to cost like 400 and something dollars. We got to get blood work. We got to do this. And I was like, listen, I don't care. Let's do it. Um, so I took her. And then the thing is that every time I took my baby to the vet, she was so happy. She would wag her tail like she was so happy. She never showed signs of that she was unhappy. She never cried. She never did none of that. She was always happy and wagging her tail and walking around the house like normal, you know? So I start to think in my head, how about if, maybe we could have caught this sooner. Maybe we could have did something more for her. So my husband's like, babe, don't do that to yourself. We took care of her. We did the best we could. So I bring her home. I couldn't, she was like, oh, well, the next step would be to put her down. And I'm like, this is happening so fast. I only bring her because she had an ear infection and some abscess around her face. I don't want to put my dog down. I'm just going to take her home with medicine. I'm going to take care of her like I've been doing. And then, we'll take step by step. Let's see what happens. So then we went back to the vet. The abscess, it kept filling. It kept draining and it kept filling. It kept draining and it kept filling. So um the vet did a test on her, and she said that, yeah, that it is cancer and that I would have to put her down. And I'm like, but do I have to do it like right now? Like, can I just take her home and just stay with her for a little bit? Like, I'm like, I was just like hoping for a miracle at this point. I was like, Lord, please don't let nothing happen to my baby, please. I don't want to go through this, Lord, please. I don't want to make that decision. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take her home. And if she passes away at home, then it's okay. She's home. So I did that. And then we had scheduled an appointment for a re-follow up on May 8th. So I did get to take her home. She would get up like normal. She ate. Everything was normal. Up until, I want to say, a week prior to the 8th, to May 8th. So I want to say that the end of April and the first couple of days, the first beginning days of May, that's when I started seeing change. I started seeing Jazz like like walk, but then like walk sideways, like, falling sideways. So I was like, hey baby, and I'm like, oh, she just woke up, maybe it's because of that. My husband was like, oh, just give her some time so she could get up, she just woke up. So I did, and she was fine, she stopped doing that. So then, I want to say 2 days before May 8th, that's when I started noticing she was having a hard time breathing. I took her up the stairs and down the stairs because we have like 3 steps when she goes outside. So when she was going downstairs to use the bathroom, she did it okay. But when she came up the stairs, she felt like, not fall back, but she was leaning back like she was gonna fall. So I ran behind her and I helped her, come up the stairs. And I looked at my husband and I just broke down because I wasn't expecting none of this to happen, like it happened really fast. And I feel like we were taking her back and forth to the vet for 3 months, and in the end the doctor said, you guys gave her a good home, you did everything for her. I understand it's painful and it's hard, but you're making the best choice for her because she's not going to be in pain anymore. And, she's going to sleep. She's not going to be in any pain when we do this process. And my husband didn't want to go because he said that he couldn't do it. So I understood and I respected him for that. So I took my daughter with me, which she also had a hard time. It was hard for her as well. It was hard for all of us because Jazz was such a good girl. She was such a good protector. And when we went to the vet, she explained to me everything, and the vet are so amazing. The vets are amazing in the clinic that I go. They are the best. And They came in the room. They gave us a little private room, and my daughter, myself, and my sister, we went into the room. We let her loose. She got comfortable, and she laid down on the bed. She got up, and then the vet said, "Just let us know when you guys are ready." And in my mind, I'm thinking, "Oh Lord, I just want this process to go fast because I was already crying hysterical because I don't want to do this, but I have no choice because it's either do it or just take her home and then watch her slowly." And I couldn't do that to her. I couldn't do that to her. So the vet said, you know, once we give her the shot, this is to relax her a little bit. But she already knew. She knew. I feel like Jazz knew. So when the doctor came in, she said, "I'm gonna give her the first shot, and it's gonna make her relaxed, her body relaxed, and everything." Jazz, I was laying with her on the floor, so she kind of like walks up to me, and she sits like right next to my leg, like almost sitting on my thighs. And she just lays there, and while the vet is injecting her the relaxing medicine, she just like turns her head and looks at me just for those minutes, and just looked at me and looked at me like almost if she was saying thank you, I love you. Like if she was saying goodbye. And then she slowly put her head on my lap, and then she just laid there for a little bit, and then they gave her the other medicine, and that was it. It was one of the hardest decisions that I ever had to make, you know and we came back home, and Charlie knew that something was different because she was smelling for Jazz, and she would go in Jazz's spot and she would cry, and she knew. So I put Charlie's bed in my room so that she's not alone, so that she could feel company. And she's doing a little better now, but here and there she'll stand on my back porch and she barks at nobody. And I feel like she's probably barking at Jazz, because that's what they used to do. They used to go to the backyard and they used to just sit there together and lay together. And it's been so different in my house. And then I received her ashes. They gave me her ashes and everything. But it was so hard, guys. It was truly hard. And it hurt so much. And I always used to think, people cry for pets like if they were humans. And I said to myself, look, you thought just as ignorant as those people saying, "Oh, it's just a dog." Well, guess what? That she was not just a dog. She was my baby. And she was my best friend. Like, one time I passed out in my basement and she was with me. And I passed out in my basement and she ran upstairs to get my husband. My husband said to me, "Babe, Jazz came upstairs and started barking at me and walking back and forth, but barking at me." So I'm looking at her like, what's wrong? What do you want? So then when I got up and I started walking, she started walking. So I said, "You want me to follow you?" So it's like she was telling him, "Follow me." So he followed her all the way to the basement and he found me on the floor. And I could not for the life of me remember. I was feeling sick that day. And when I woke up, my dog was licking my face, and my husband was like, "Are you okay? What's the matter? Did anything? What happened to you?" And I said, "Oh, I just had like a little minor headache, and I felt like nauseous, and then I don't remember what happened." So he said, "Oh, she went all the way upstairs to go and get me." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, she did?" He was like, "Yeah, she was barking at me and walking back and forth, like telling me, 'Hello, come.'" And she was a good dog. She was such a good dog. I loved her so much. I still love her, you know, and I just wanted to share that with you guys because there's a lot of people commenting, "Oh, you put her down. I would never do that. I would let my dog, pass away at home." And it's not easy. It is not easy to see them in pain or gasping for air or having trouble with anything. It's not. You want what's best for them, and I put myself to think, could I have done something that was different? Like, I put these thoughts in my head because I don't know what else, like, did I make the wrong choice? Could I had just held on? Could I waited a little bit, but it's not. I don't even. But anyways, I just wanted to say that I hope you guys are having a great day. It's 12:36. It's a busy day for me today. I have to go to the doctors, and we have a women's event today. So if you're in the area in Bridgeport, Connecticut, it's a women's event today from 7 to 9 in YMCA and in Bridgeport. And that's it. I hope you guys have a good day. I don't know how to see. Yeah, it doesn't let me see it. But I hope you guys have a good day. And thank you guys again for all the support, all the love, all the well wishes, and all the prayers. Please continue to pray for me. Please continue to pray for me because Lord knows that I need all the prayers. All the prayers. Just pray for me. Just say, "Father God, in the name of Jesus, bless Maria. Bless Maria with strength. Bless her in her financial difficulties. Bless her health. Bless her mental self." Because sometimes I feel like I'm going neurotic. Um, but you guys, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. I still have a dog balance, the vet bill that I have to pay. Uh, it's a lot. We spent like $3,500, and I still have a balance of like $800 that I have to pay. But I'll get there. I know God's gonna bless me. I know He is. I feel it in my bones. But I just wanted to say thank you, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day. The weather's getting better out here where I live. So thank you guys so much. You guys have a good day.